low. Um, Personal taste, I like simple sentences, like simple, direct sentences, in either writing or in print. Um, and there are a number of course, you have to have variety. You can't just have the same type of sentences. That's kind of the way little kids speak or write, especially. Um, it's just easier to read, and that's why I think that they say those things and write in those things. But you also can't just have complex sentences, compound sentences either. Complex sentences are sentences have clauses in them. A simple sentence is just one independent clause, one subject, one verb, one thought. You know, a dependent clause has a subject and a verb, but doesn't make sense on its own. It needs an independent clause for it to make sense, to survive. Independent clause obviously doesn't have to have that. But a complex sentence has one of each, a dependent and independent clause, and it depends on whether or not which one comes first. If it has a wubis word, after, as, although, when, while, there are others, until, before, by, because, if, or so. If those come at the first of the sentence, you're going to have a comma wherever it pauses, and you can know that it's a complex sentence. If those words are in the middle of the sentence, it's still a complex sentence, but the dependent clause comes last, and so there's not a comma there. Just rule of thumb. Compound sentence has two independent clauses joined together by fanboys, by conjunction, coordinating conjunction, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, or so. And compound sentences are two of the same, two independent clauses, like I said. Okay, so you have to have all those different types of sentences in your writing and your speaking too, if you want to, if you're focusing on your speaking. But what I have noticed that I like myself personally is simple sentences, but also direct sentences. They're like a uppercut if you're in a fight. They're like a sharp jab to the nose. They get their point across. And a well-placed one, a lot of times topic sentences and paragraphs are these simple sentences. When I say simple, I mean like in the grammatical sense or the rhetorical sense, simple sentence as opposed to a complex or a compound sentence, but also simple sentence and like the direct, the semantic value of them, something that's direct. For instance, different types of literature. Jesus of Nazareth in John 11, he's talking to his apostles, and he's telling them that Lazarus, his friend, Lazarus is asleep. And they're like, well, if he's sick, he's good that he gets his rest. And then he stops and turns to them and tells them plainly, Lazarus is dead. Well, I mean, you can see why he's been speaking figuratively, these big, long speeches, not trashing him or anything, but the big, long speeches, and he's speaking in figurative language. And so you would understand why they would be confused as to this, or they think he's talking about he's asleep. He was referring to it in a figurative sense. Then when they didn't understand, he turns around and says, Lazarus is dead. A simple, straight to the point, direct sentence. I like that. Also in Don Quixote, he makes this speech. He goes up against these windmills, and he talks about giants, and his servant, I guess, Sancho, he listens to him pontificate about the giants, and he's looking at windmills, and he says, "What giants?" And I like that because it's sharp. It's just simple. I mean, it's simple. Seems like simple-minded, but it's earthy. It's common sense. What are you talking about? What giants? He's looking around for giants. All he sees is windmills. Don Quixote is crazy, driven crazy by his love for literature. There's several. Hamlet, at the end, they come in and say, "We're come here to find the king. He's not here. To tell him Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead." That formed the title of another play. Tom Stoppard formed a play, sort of a satire based on Hamlet, on the two men, unfortunate, used to be former friends of Hamlet. But the messengers from England come in and say Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Sort of a memorable statement. It's direct to the point. So if you remember in your word salad of your different types of sentences, in your paragraphs, in your writing, your speaking, be sure to vary them up with complex. When I did this, or while this is this way, comma, then this is this way. This is this, or although this is this is really the way it is, or compound sentences. I learned this about this, comma, so therefore I did this, therefore I'm going to do this next. But every once in a while, at the first, in the middle, maybe in the last, sometimes last of a paragraph, last of a thought, throw in a simple, direct sentence, and it kind of it'll give your writing, your speaking, your rhetoric power, I believe. Okay, have a good day. Good too. I miss seeing you guys. You always made my week better. If I was having a bad day, you guys would find ways to cheer me up. And I appreciate that, and I hope that you guys are all doing well and staying safe. Peace out.